All right, let's go over our agenda then. First up is the approval of minutes. They are before you. Any changes, corrections? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Claims we have from Caramita, $31,663.39. Caramita, $16,668.12. Caramita, $25,675.91. From Stewart and Brannigan, $50. Stewart and Brannigan, $4,995. Stewart and Brannigan, $25. And then from Waste Management, excuse me, $18,179.08.
Move to pay our bills.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pay our claims. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Reports. Vicky, we'll start with you.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi. We were discussing actually if you gentlemen would prefer to have a virtual meeting because we may be like that for the next meeting too. So
I mean,
It-
who knows what will be like the next meeting is.
they were putting Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, and Illinois, I think, in the same bowl today about increases and all that.
Hot spots.
Yeah.
Well, I'm okay with the virtual meeting.
Oh, I am
That
totally.
don't bother me.
I mean, yeah.
Well, it'd have the advantage, you could, as Mindy says, you could, I assume the county does some meetings now that way, that you could
we all do.
stream it on YouTube, and then it could be this is a public meeting, the public's not allowed to attend, so,
Well, we do.
Yeah, but you can do that. They just have to be given 24 hours ahead of time to submit a question if they want to. or
no, I
something.
know that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying it would be simpler to just get everybody together virtually and stream it on YouTube, I mean,
We do all of ours now that way.
Yeah.
Council, Board of Works.
but this is a
RDC.
county board, so.
Yeah.
Well, I've been Zooming with Dave a few times, so I know that he got her down.
Yeah,
And you
I
need
even
to-
put
you need
pants
to-
on this time.
Well, if there is anything that I can do to facilitate, please let me know, but probably we can do that and plan for a virtual meeting for the rest of the year, so everybody knows,
Yeah,
right?
one more meeting, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. With regards to, I want to say, a couple of things about the invoices. Every month we pay anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 on natural gas in order to supplement the methane that we have, which is, a high price, and of course it is in our invoices. We didn't want to do anything to jeopardize the compliance of the methane, especially when we were going through the reuse, and now we are going through the efforts for delisting and all that. So we didn't want to create any uncertainty. But given that this activity is dragging, we thought that it would be good to try and do. We can change the computerized apparatus of the flare, so we can adjust the flare to burn at a lesser time, as long as there is no violation there. In order to do that, we need to bring a company. We've gotten a quote. It's a controls company, and it's going to cost $3,600 to do that. They can put a new control panel, and then we can adjust the flare, and hopefully we can, we do believe it's going to come down. We just don't know how much it's going to come down. But, we're paying about $20,000 to $30,000 a year just to buy the gas, and that is so because we don't generate enough, we generate enough methane to be a regulatory concern, but not enough to burn by itself. So we need to substitute it.
Consistently, or is it because there's just not enough produced, period?
Yeah.
Or yes?
Well, we used to pay actually significantly more than that because we used to bring propane in. And then several years ago, we brought natural gas because it was so much cheaper than propane. But still, it's, as I said, about 2,000 to 3,000 a month that we are paying. So if it's all right with you, my suggestion, my recommendation is to change the panel so we have the ability to do that. With the existing panel, we don't have the ability to do that because that has been put years and years ago, and it doesn't allow us to
I know you
fluctuate.
don't know exactly, but I'm assuming you're reasonably confident that if we spend the 3,600, we're gonna save more than that.
Yes,
You just don't know
absolutely.
how much.
Exactly.
But we're certainly gonna get our money back.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the belief. And before we proceed with the spending, we're going to do some calculations internally and see, how much we think it's going to be. And definitely, it's not going to happen if we're not going to recover and gain some money. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it just one control panel, or do you have to put one on every?
No, it's just not controlled because the gas is used on the main one down by the road.
Okay. You think they could put it on and test it and give you 10 days worth, or to?
No, because it's a lot of work to install it.
Okay. Yeah, the labor for that, all right.
Yeah, yeah. But
Sorry.
we'll try and have a good estimate before we spend the money.
Well, do we need a motion then to go ahead and approve this purchase?
3,600?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the potential purchase of a new panel.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Also, thank you. Also, I wanted to say that the invoices that you have in front of you include also the annual groundwater monitoring and its laboratory. So that's a significant expense there, and also includes, last time I had talked to you about the fact that we had to reinstall one of the wells, which it had happened, but we didn't receive their invoice until a week ago, actually, because we were bugging them all this time. So it is in this invoice, even though you had heard about it in the last meeting. So that's with regards to the invoices. We did the groundwater monitoring, and we have the results, and there is no surprise, everything is the same. EPA seems to have a problem with the groundwater that they are raising that nobody had raised before for 3 5-year reviews that we had. We have 3 reports that they had the signature of all the way up to the Superfund Division Director at EPA. Our project manager there died, if you remember, so we have the new project manager, and he's raising all sorts of issues. Tony and I were talking. We don't want to go to his supervisor because this backfires big time. We had tried it years ago before. And so that's not the way to go. I've tried to talk to the toxicologist there, who is outside the department, and a very nice gentleman, and he had worked very well with us when we went through the reuse. He had approved our risk assessment. And my question to him was, is there a policy? Because I have not been able to find a policy that EPA has that says if there are 3 official documents that EPA has signed, can anybody come and just say, I don't believe what these folks were evaluating? And his answer is unfortunately yes. That it can be, done. That someone can come after 3 reports and say, I don't agree with whatever was done before. But it has to be, that's what we were saying with Tony, it may be a good idea to wait until we see what this new project manager, issues before we have a chance to really raise an official complaint. Because right now, it is all verbal that he is telling us we are in communication. And EPA is still working from home, same with IDEM. And if it was hard to get them before, it's next to impossible now. So they have not gone back to regular work schedule, and they don't know when they will go back to regular schedule. So, but I wanted to let you know that, we did our groundwater, and, the landfill is a parallelogram, in essence. So the northwest corner does have some arsenic issues. However, when you go on the off-site, everything is fine. We don't have any exceedances, and this has been going on all this time. So it's not like the remedy is not working. It's not like, it was better before and it's worse now, or, it's just the condition of the landfill. We had done a very, very extensive work. We explained it to IDEM. They understood it. We met with them. We sent things in writing. They understood it. They agreed with us. Same thing with EPA. We met, we explained, we sent the, things in writing. They understood and they agreed. So there is nothing new there. Everything should be just fine. But we'll wait and see what this guy, issues. So I just wanted to let you know that the groundwater results are just fine, as always. There's no, worsening or whatever. So that's all I know.
It's enough.
Man, what a difference one person can make, huh? Holy cow.
Well, I mean, you weren't around when Bernie Shorley was running the show. He made us redo a 10-volume study one time because he didn't like the use of a word.
Yeah.
And because he could. I mean, you see those kinds of jerks in power, and that's the big thing.
And,
When's this 5-year study due?
20. It's to be done in 2020.
Okay, it's on my calendar, that's now.
Exactly. We have the three ones, 2005, 2010, 2015. And it's the same EPA Superfund director that has signed them. So it's not like, Linda was signing them and, oh my gosh, I don't like Linda's work. No, it was going all the way up to the guy. So,
Well, then you're probably right. You probably have to wait to see what he puts in this one and what he officially signs off on, because sometimes what people say to you is not always what ends up in the report and the documentation, and see what he actually puts in and then decide
Well,
where
that's-
we go
I mean,
from there,
that's-
and how he contradicts
yes.
the other people's
previous-
work.
The previous work,
Yeah.
That's exactly correct, I think. We don't have, maybe a threat we have, but we don't have anything that
Do we
would.
see what he puts in writing?
And, then there are several avenues, not the least of which, although they don't remember us much over at the federal courthouse. This is a federal court case at the bottom, and a federal judge still has
Ultimate authority?
jurisdiction over it, over the consent decree. And so, but one would think that if, and the Superfund director did sign off on every one of these reports, and the science is the same, it hasn't changed. That we could get some kind of hearing or opportunity to sit down and say, if he orders something done differently, we'd say, no, we're not going to do that. There's just no reason to. And then you get a chance at due process. That's what I was saying before, we even, at one point, I can't remember back that far now, refused to go beyond a certain point in the remedy until they signed off on that as being complete.
Yes.
Because Bernie or somebody had always threatened to say, well, maybe sometime I'll decide you need to redo the groundwater out there or something. And we said, no, that's tens of millions of dollars. We need certainty.
Yeah.
And so let's,
Yeah.
because his big deal was to change the rules of the game after, you'd played 3 cards, and that always hurt.
Yeah, that's,
But it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, as much as these guys move around in EPA, he might not even be there in a while. I mean, can't bet on it,
Yeah.
but I think we need something more than a threat before we
Yeah.
march out to see the president.
Okay, any questions for Vicky? Not old business?
Can I say a couple, I just wanted to report that we did take care of getting Alan what he needed to go forward and apply for his grants for the trail and the encroachment on your part of the project. I don't know when he would expect to hear. I think maybe he was,
I know.
but we did get certified resolution and all that, so that's done. A couple of other things, and this is, kind of sounds strange after what you've just heard, is if you go on Region 5's homepage, they have all these long list of Superfund sites that they're wanting to take off the NPL. And they've got them out for, this is what we're trying to get done, the delisting, not TSL, but I mean, so there appears to be some push from EPA, because this was a promise of the Trump administration when they came in, and I can't, Scott Pruitt, was that?
Yeah, yeah.
The
first administration.
the guy that they didn't quite get to hang. So that's an active thing that's going on. And I noticed there was a landfill over in Illinois that they're have out for proposal to delist, and God, there's a coke plant. If you've ever been in a coke plant in your life around a steel mill, I mean, that's the very definition of evil and poison. And
It goes away, does it?
no,
Yeah.
no. So if they're delisting coke plants, you might think we'd have a chance. But interestingly enough, there's a big blurb up there about ready for reuse too. And they're supposed to have a list of all the sites that have been designated as ready for reuse. Tippecanoe Sanitary Landfill has been that way, but it's not listed on the page.
No, it's not. I think it was one of the things that they were dropped when Linda died, and this other guy is just not doing it.
But Tom Bloom's the director of that. And you know Tom.
Yes,
I-
yes.
I mean, could we ask Tom?
Sure.
What? I mean, we don't
Yeah,
want to make a federal case out of it, but
yes, yeah,
I mean, the only site in Indiana that's listed as ready for reuse is Waste Inc.
yes.
But yet, we have a written designation that this is ready for that.
We have for a couple of years at least.
Yeah. So, just, again, not to make a big thing out of it,
I'll
but
make-
maybe Tom could tell
I'll
you.
make sure that I
Because
call
then they
him.
issue kind of a fact sheet like they issue when they're going to make a remedy and give it to the press and all that. And it talks about the site being, the remedy's working, and, maybe they do it after the 4th report comes out.
I don't think so. I don't think it's related.
No, it isn't related. But
Yeah.
I won't
I mean, it
curse.
shouldn't be.
You want me to for you? I'm good at it.
You never
No.
do that.
I have an inventory. Something to just gently get some people to, Vicky and her people have done a lot of work. So I'm sorry to take so much time, but seems like a decent time to get some movement to get this thing delisted and off the NPL, except for our nuclear engineer slash chemist,
Yeah.
the mad scientist. So,
Okay, any other old business to come up then? Under new business, I guess I will say I have a certificate of liability insurance from Waste Management for the site, in case anybody needs to see it or whatever, we do have that.
Good.
Any other new business anybody can think of? Any public comment? Looks like we're good there. Anything else for the board? Favorite motion?
Move to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody. What's that noise?
Somebody's phone.
Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah,
Here, I think.
Oh, it's outside?
Like it's outside.
Okay.
Coming right through the wall.